What's going on, Giants fans? I'm very excited to do this prediction for Saquon Barkley going into 2018. Barkley, of course, is one of the most exciting prospects we've seen in about the past decade at his position. A lot is expected from him. He was picked in second overall. A lot of weight on his shoulders, definitely a lot of pressure, under the bright lights in New York. But based off his talent, I think he can get it done, and we'll go into some reasons why I believe Saquon Barkley will have a great year in his first year in New York. So a lot of this video will be resulting in the environment around Saquon Barkley. I mean, I'm a believer. I've said this in previous videos that the positions, the guys you have around you as a running back are very important. I mean, I made the Todd Gurley comparison about how he went from 800 rushing yards to 1,400 rushing yards the next year, based off offensive line improvements and a new play caller. So I think the guys around the running back are very important. So I'm going to go into reasons why the Giants' current roster and coaching can definitely enhance the way Barkley can play this year. So I used this graphic from my Eli Manning video, but the same thing can go here. You can see how much the offensive line has improved since last year. The Giants have signed a big left tackle, which they needed. They say Omame is a better run blocker than Justin Pugh was, so I mean we'll see about that. Will Hernandez is also known for that. He's supposed to be a nasty blocker. Eric Flowers, I don't know what we're gonna get with Eric Flowers, honestly, if he starts at right tackle. So that's a bit of a question. But outside of that, I'm pretty confident in the rest of these guys and their ability to block. The Giants last year ranked 19th in the yards before contact, and it's basically just how it sounds. I mean, it's like a running back and how long the running back can get, past the line of scrimmage before being touched. So on average, the Giants had 1.44 yards per carry before their running back was touched. That was 19th in the NFL. I mean, it's not terrible, not as bad as I expected, to be honest with you, but the Giants' issues last year were pass protection. But it could definitely get better. I mean, if the Giants can get top 10 in the league, that would be awesome. And you put a guy with the talent of Saquon Barkley, sprinkle in Jonathan Stewart and Wayne Gallman, I mean, that can be a really, Giants' run game could be really scary next year. It's a lot to ask for, of course, but I think the Giants have made enough improvements to to reach that top 10 or at least get somewhere around that. So I went way back in time, all the way to 2009 and beyond, of course. This is basically Pat Shurmur's offensive coordinator history so far. This is his first 4 years. So he was with St. Louis the first 2 years and then went to Cleveland as the coach, obviously. So he was handed a future Hall of Fame running back, Steven Jackson, his first 2 years. And Jackson was incredible as always. He had 1,400 yards his first year, 4.4 a carry, even had 51 receptions. And Steven Jackson is kind of he was low-key good at catching the ball, but he wasn't really known as a pass catcher. He did have 90 catches one year somehow. But, the fact that he was able to get 50 catches out of him and then 46 the next year is pretty impressive. And it shows you how, Pat Shurmur likes to implement his running backs into his passing game, and we'll see that with some other players coming up later. Peyton Hillis in his first year with Cleveland. This was the year after Peyton Hillis had that Madden cover year and was crazy. I think Hillis played 10 games that year, so it's obviously not a full sample size, and he wasn't really that good anyway. And then next year, Shurmur was given rookie Trent Richardson, who had an impressive year, had 12 touchdowns, 950 on the ground, and even had 51 catches, which is good for him. So, he was able to make, two pretty bad running backs, Richardson and Hillis. He was able to do a little something with them. Hillis was kind of a lost cause, but the fact that he made Richardson relevant, and, we see where Richardson is now. I think he's 28 years old playing Canadian football or something. So that was impressive. And Steven Jackson was kind of on the tail end of his career at that point. So all very impressive stuff from Pat Shurmur there. So after his time in Cleveland, he went to Philadelphia under Chip Kelly. So, that's why I put it in red, that it's Chip Kelly's system, not really Pat Shurmur. I think Shurmur was calling the plays, but it's still Chip Kelly's system implemented. I really don't know how they did things there, but it basically wasn't all Pat Shurmur. Anyway, though, LeSean McCoy, of course, we know he's incredible. Had over 1,600 yards in the first year he was there, 52 catches and 11 touchdowns. Next year dropped off a bit, 1,300 yards. It's funny saying that's a drop off, but it's true. 4.2 a carry, then 28 receptions. I'm pretty sure he played all 16 that year, so it's just a weird drop off there. Maybe that was the year they got Darren Sproles. Maybe that's why. But the next year with DeMarco Murray, that was a complete failure. Murray, the previous year, led the league in rushing, I believe, with the Cowboys, and then came to the Eagles and pretty much was running east and west instead of north south, and it just messed with DeMarco a lot, and he was never looked like a good player in Philadelphia. I think that lasted 1 year. He had 700 yards, 3.6 a carry, so DeMarco Murray, we all know, is a much better player than that. After that, went to the Vikings as an offensive coordinator. He came into the season thinking Adrian Peterson was going to be his running back. I believe AP got hurt in week 2 that year. He was out for the season. And then was given Jerick McKinnon and Matt Asiata. I don't even think Asiata's like a real running back. I think he's more of a fullback. But combined, they had 280 carries, 940 yards, and 75 receptions, which was very impressive, and 10 touchdowns. The next year, McKinnon and Murray. So Dalvin Cook started the year. I believe he got hurt in like week 4 or 5. He was looking really good. But if you combine McKinnon and Murray stats, 366 carries, over 1,400 yards, almost 4 a carry, 66 receptions, and 13 touchdowns. So the last couple of years where Pat Shurmur was given like full control of play calling, his running backs, and they really weren't, they're not like great players. I mean, no offense to McKinnon or Murray or anything, but Saquon Barkley is a lot better than those guys. So if he can do that with them, imagine what he can do with Barkley. So that definitely had me feeling optimistic. On to projection time, and I don't like doing these because they always end up wrong or something happens. So basically, I'm going to go through just a range here. So I think he'll get somewhere between 300 and 310 carries, based off the way he used LaShawn McCoy, even though it was Chip Kelly, and, Steven Jackson was getting over 300. Saquon Barkley is, he has the same talent those guys have, if not better. So I believe as long as Saquon plays all 16, he should get over 300 carries. I believe he will get somewhere between 1,100 and 1,200 yards. He could exceed that, of course, but it's just a lot to put on a rookie to say, hey, come in here and rush for like 1,400 yards. I believe he'll get the ball thrown to him a lot. I think he'll get somewhere around 65 to 70 receptions. It could be more. It really depends on how Odell is and how Ingram is, Sterling Shepard. I mean, if those guys are doing their part, then it's gonna take away some of what Saquon's gonna do. But I think if all goes right, then he should get 65 to 70 catches, somewhere around there. And touchdowns, you really can't predict them. I mean, Julio Jones is like 6'5" and gets like 4 touchdowns a year, so you really can't predict this stuff. But I'm going to go with 7 or 8. I really hope he scores like 15 to 20, but I'm going to go with 7 or 8 just to keep it real. And I also said most likely wins Rookie of the Year. I believe, there's some rookie quarterbacks out there, Baker Mayfield. Who else? My boy Josh Rosen might play. Sam Darnold, of course. What's his name? Josh Allen. But I really don't think they're going to win Rookie of the Year. So, I mean, I think it's going to come down to Saquon Barkley and a few other guys. But, I think with the whole New York atmosphere and stuff like that, he's definitely going to get hyped up a lot. And as long as Barkley has a pretty good year, he should win the Rookie of the Year. So now here's the fun part for me. I get to react to all Saquon's plays, top 10 plays at least. You see here, he steps up, throws across the field, kind of dangerous. This was incredible. I mean, this move at the 40-yard line here, I mean, the defender easily had the angle on him and everything, and he, went the way that you wouldn't think he would go and still was able to beat him and the sideline. I don't get how you do that. I mean, right here, makes this outcut, and I don't get how you beat that guy. I mean, he should be embarrassed, but then again, it's Saquon Barkley, so we get it. Here's that Michigan State play where the defender pretty much tries to rip his jersey off, and Saquon says, all right, I'll just drag you with me. He didn't score on this, which was disappointing, but, I mean, the fact that he was able to drag a guy who's probably like 250 pounds, it's just so impressive. I mean, I don't get how you do this. I mean, pretty much most running backs would go down in this situation, but he's just such a determined runner. I love it. Wow, they put this play at number 8. I mean, this is crazy. I love this run. Oh, my God. What a move that is. I mean, that'll probably still get a lot of NFL defenders. I don't know how you guard that move. If you're a safety in the open field with this guy, I just good luck. I don't know what to say to you. I mean, the NFL talent's obviously a lot better, but Saquon is just too good in the open field. Speaking of open field, he makes Iowa look like a high school team with this. I mean, guys are just falling everywhere. I think that safety just gave up. He didn't want any piece of that. Gets in the end zone. I mean, his elusiveness is just insane. I mean, he just weaves through guys like it's nothing. It honestly looks like he's playing high schoolers on this play. It's just so impressive. We've seen some power moves. We've seen some elusiveness. I mean, this is just straight speed. I mean, just like catch me if you can. That gets away from that one defender, and he's gone. There's no way to catching him. This guy gave it a good try, but no, not happening. Right here, just found the perfect hole. I mean, it's a pretty big hole, so I mean, I can't give Saquon too much credit on his vision there, but the fact that he was able to outrun the secondary is also very impressive, so I'll give him that, of course. I actually forgot to address this. I'm going to forget the whole play here, but I'm sure a lot of fans are going to want Saquon on the kickoff and punt returns, and I agree it would be really exciting, but can you imagine if he got hurt on that? I mean, I really think it wouldn't be worth it. I mean, there's a reason we don't put Odell Beckham back there too many times, and there were times, I think 2 seasons ago during the 11-5 year where we would put Odell back there and he would score touchdowns. I think he returned one against the Browns, and then he had one against the Lions that was called a flag, but still. I wouldn't want Saquon back there. I mean, it's just, if this was like Madden, you can turn injuries off, then hell yeah, sign me up. But I just, it's too risky for me, and the Giants don't have the best luck with injuries, obviously. So I would just say keep Saquon in the backfield for now. Of all of his highlights, this play gets me the most hype. Screen pass, make them miss, spin move, get out of that, get out of that. He must have got away from 6 or 7 guys on that play. It's crazy. I don't get how someone does this. Still was able to score, held on to the ball across the plane, blah, blah, blah. But the spin move out of here, 2 giant defenders just get off of him. Damn, Iowa again. All right, so little swing pass. Oh, this is the hurdle play. I remember this. Oh, my God. There's a guy in Pittsburgh named Le'Veon Bell who does stuff like this, and it always makes my jaw drop. And then seeing stuff like this, I mean, I love it. I mean, as long as he can stay injury-free doing it, see, he almost rolled his ankle there. It's kind of dangerous, but if you can escape without injury doing a hurdle, I freaking love those plays. This play right here against Indiana might be his best single-handed, no pun intended, but single-handed, best play out of all this. I mean, the quarterback gives him a terrible throw. It was just a little screen pass, and Saquon comes down with it with one arm, one hand, gets away from this defender, breaks his ankles, gets by another one. Yep, they were able to catch him, so this guy got to him. But still, I mean, this catch is impressive. We have another guy on our team that does some pretty impressive one-handed catches, so I'm excited to see them pregame trying to one-up each other. That'll be pretty entertaining. And number 1, USC. I've seen this one before. This is he bounced outside a couple times. Yep, there's 2 guys. There's another one. I'll cut inside, get away from him, cut inside again, get away from him. That's 7 guys that cannot bring him down. I mean, that's impressive. And USC is no joke. I'm no college football fan, but I know USC is always one of the better teams out there, and that, to be able to do that to them is embarrassing for them. Jump in again, get away from you. And he's gone. I mean, this is jaw-dropping stuff. If Saquon can do half of this in the NFL, I would be ecstatic. So, it's going to be a very fun year, and I'm really excited for what he's going to do. I did bash the pick at first, but, I didn't want a quarterback. I wish Josh Rosen was a Giant, but Saquon's here, and we're going to love Saquon, and he's going to do some really great things for us in a Giant uniform. So good luck to him next year. And if you like this video, then please leave a like. It was kind of a bitch doing all the research on the previous running backs. That took an hour or so. But if you liked it, just comment. That would be much appreciated. And let me know how you think Saquon's going to do next year. I also did a video about Eli Manning a couple weeks ago. It's pretty much the same thumbnail except Eli Manning's in the picture, so easy to find. Check that out as well. And thank you for watching, guys.